We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity with Amish. And today, a question: What do we want to cover today, Luke?
Me namensgemenn ena fra disrespekta and belittle and society non-identitet.
Man, that's a great question, and I would say that it's not only for Amish. So this one's definitely read at your own risk. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not. It's like, so why do husbands like disrespect their wives and belittle them? So, I was talking to some Amish and it came to my attention that there's a brother, you know, of somebody I know, an Amish guy I know. There's a brother who belittles his wife publicly. And so he goes ahead and about her weight. And so he says, he went ahead and said something about, his wife, like, you shouldn't be eating that puts weight on, or something like that. Now, this is a difficult thing. And so I don't, a man in talking about his wife's weight, one is he's probably just stupid. And if you want to talk to her, if you're concerned about her health, okay, that's one thing. But are you really, or are you just selfish? Are you trying to, is it because you're insecure as a man? Or is it because you're superficial, surface, and temporal? And, I went ahead and heard another man went ahead and, he degraded his wife. And I was there when he did it. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I can't believe he just said that. And I just wanted to smack him upside the head and say, dude, like, what are you doing? Come on. But often men who degrade, belittle their wife, they're insecure. They're bullies. They're insecure, they're bullies, and they're poor wives. My heart just goes out to them, their wives. I just like, and so women are going to be very sensitive. Like, and then when I talk about men and women, I'm talking about general. I'm not saying every man is like this or every woman's like this. I'm saying, hey, generally speaking. So generally speaking, you tell a guy that, that you have an ugly shirt on, and he's going to be like, okay, like, whatever. A lot of guys won't even care. Now, there's another great podcast about men who are wusses. And so that's another topic. But if you tell a woman, you have an ugly, blouse on or shirt on, she will often internalize it. Like, women, they internalize things more than men do, generally speaking, and so a husband who makes fun of his wife's weight or how she looks or something like that, he's not smart, he's fragile. He's in the English world, they call it a wuss. It's like, he's weak, he's just weak, and he's hurting, himself. It's like, well, if your wife's that way, you're just it's like, I don't know what to do publicly. Like, I didn't know what to do with this guy. I saw it happen. And so, is it emotional abuse? I don't know. Maybe. maybe it is. I don't know. Or is he just a doofus? Is he just a goofball? Like I don't know if they haven't been taught. Like they haven't been taught. You don't do this. Like you don't do this. You don't mock your wife's looks, or you don't mock your wife's, weight. You just don't. Like it's just not a cool thing to do. It's uncool. It's like you're the one that's looking bad. You're the one that looks insecure, you know? And so, you know, I've got, too much weight on me. Okay. And that's, come on after 50. And, I'm 60. And so I'm like, it's harder. And that's, it's just the reality of life. It's just harder. The body metabolizes in a different way. Um, but with a woman, especially after pregnancy, like a woman's body changes. And so, in physical intimacy, if you're a man, and you're not happy with the physical intimacy in your marriage, um it, it's likely because of you, dude. Like it's likely because of you. And maybe you're taking it out on her, or maybe you're looking at superficial, like you're not seeing her beauty. You degrade her, you're going to hurt the physical intimacy. You just will. So there's this story, and I don't know if it's a true story. I think it might be, but I think it's over in India, where they had where you go ahead and have a dowry. And so, a really attractive woman and a really good woman, you might get a goat for her. Man, if you got a cow, for some, might be a chicken. So there's this homely looking girl, and she's quiet, and she wasn't that attractive. And the parents are like, man, if we could get one goat for her, that'd be great. Might end up with a few chickens or something. And this man comes to the village, and he goes to the mom and dad, and he negotiates for his wife or for their daughter. And he says, I'd like to go ahead and give you, 7 cows. And the parents are like, their mouths drop, and they're like, 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 they let us talk for just a minute. Like, this is unheard of. Like, there's never been a girl in the village that's ever been given 7 cows. And here they have this daughter that they're like, I hope we get a goat for her, but she might only get 2 or 3 chickens. And they go off in the sun. They're like, what's this guy thinking? Is there something wrong with it? Like, what is he thinking about? The same daughter we're thinking about? Like, there's no way we're gonna get 7 cows for this. They come back and say, hey, yeah, yeah, it sounds like it's good. And then, and he gets married, and he takes his wife, and they go to another village. And I don't know, like a year or two later, there's this couple that comes in, and there's this woman, and she's gorgeous. She's absolutely stunningly beautiful. And everybody's like, who is this beautiful woman? And then somebody points out, it's this girl, this homely girl, this unattractive girl, this girl that was quiet and nobody really was interested in her. And now she's this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous woman. And they go up and they say, what happened to the guy? They're like, what? Like, wow. Like, how did you see this? And the guy smiles and says, if you want a 7 cow woman, you got to pay 7 cows. So if you want to get that high quality of a woman, like, my wife is absolutely unbelievably attractive. She's more attractive to me now than she was when we were married 39 years ago.
I've never heard it said that way. I thought it was always something that was kind of like out of the guy's control, but obviously not.
I don't know. No, I mean, and intimacy wise, I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And so I remember the first time I saw her, I'm like, holy cow, man, is she attractive? Like, wow. Like physically really attractive and emotionally and relationally everything. And we'll go on another podcast and tell some stories about that. But I remember after we started dating, and then we got engaged, and I was walking with her dad in the backyard and their backyard, and he's like, yeah, Mark, mom and I were a little surprised that Rosanna would get the quality, high quality of a man that you are. I'm like, excuse me? Like, hey, that's my fiance, that's my wife. What are you thinking? What is he talking about? And then I'm like, score. Like they have no idea who their daughter is. No idea. Both of them are clueless. They don't understand her. They don't get her. They don't get what an amazing woman. And I was sad. I was sad mostly for them. I was sad mostly for them. And I didn't realize, sorry, go
Sorry to
ahead.
cut. Yeah, but if I were you at that moment, I would be very happy. But that's so strange that you were sad at that moment.
Well, I was sad for them. They didn't understand their daughter. They didn't understand you know, they just, I don't know. It was just weird. It wasn't until years later I was relating that story to someone, and I still get, 39 years later, there's tears of sadness where they don't get her. They just don't get her. They don't
Hmm.
understand their own daughter. And so, it wasn't until years later I was talking and I was relating the story to some guys about how you honor your wife and how it's just crazy. And so I was 19 years old at the time. I had a car I paid cash for. It was a really nice car. My parents were my parents were my dad was a pastor, had a good job, had a lot of money, had invested into real estate. I had a degree, working on two more degrees. So I had a college degree. So I had good money, good everything. It's like, and I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Like, the guy was a good catch, but not really. I mean, God gave me it all. My parents taught me a hard work ethic. I was really driven, but that was all given to me as a gift from God. And so like men are doing that. They think they're amazing. And it's like it's not, I'm not saying you're not amazing as a man, but like when they said that, I didn't think of myself. I'm like I'm no better than she is. Now on the other hand, this last Sunday, a guy went ahead and at church, at an English church, he got up and he said, a pastor said, you know, um, I married up. And I don't like that either. Like I think that's, you know, I married up, like my wife's better than me. I don't like that any more than I do my husband's better than me. What you're doing is you're just propagating. It's like, to me, it's a false humility. It's just like, I don't think I'm married up. She didn't marry up either. Like, we're both creating God's image. We're both amazing people if we live to our creation.
But you also both have your baggage that comes with you.
There's scars, there's some choices that are made against you that, you know, but those can be turned into, it's like we want fragrant roses, but we often
Hmm.
get, cow manure
Or the thorns from the roses.
or the thorns from the roses, and so, and so, hopefully, because it's not, it's just physical beauty, if it's just physical beauty, your temporal, superficial, your surface, it's like really, and so, yeah. So I don't know what to, I don't know how to respond if I hear that, but I heard that and I was hurt. I was hurt for, I was hurt for this gentleman's wife. I just wanted to hug her and I just wanted to look into her eyes and say, "You are a beautiful woman. You are a beautiful, beautiful woman." I wanted to just kind of shake the guy and say, "Dude, come on." I hurt for him too. I mean, if this is what's happening in public, what's happening in private? Like what's happening in private? And it's like maybe if I confronted him or said something to him, maybe he'd say, "Well, I was just joking." It's like there's some things you don't joke about. You don't joke about that. You just don't. And it's weird because I was talking to another Amish woman and I said, "Hey, this and this, happened. I don't know how to respond." And she said, "Oh, a lot of Amish husbands do that." I'm like, "Really?" Meaning I'm English. I'm not Amish. It's like, that's not, that's not a Christian thing to do. I think that's not a nice thing to do. You don't joke about that. You just don't. And then I felt bad for, the sons and the daughters of the dad. Because it's like they're gonna pick up this, they're gonna pick up disrespect of women. They just will. So it'd be cool to have, a honest conversation, and it'd be cool to have an honest conversation. And so I think that women disrespect men too, and that's another conversation for another time. Disrespect husbands, and so I see that with 7 kids and 9 grandkids. I've seen a lot, and I see how and women, they'll go ahead and undermine a husband. And that's not good either. So this is not one-sided. But this is the topic for today. So if you have any questions, I mean, share this with other, Amish guys for sure. I mean, share it with other Amish guys. And
So, what's the solution to change the men's mind about insecurity, they are fragile about, and they are was as you talked about. So, how can we change it?
so for sure, we want another podcast on that because that's not going to be, covered in a few minutes. It's um So hopefully this will be linked to that. And I like that, Adam. I mean, that's just really good material there. So hopefully, you watch this podcast and then you link and go to, this other podcast, because that's really where the root is. That's really where the root is. The root is in the guy's mind. He's not confident. What he's doing is he's revealing his insecurities. He's revealing his insecurities, so how he doesn't feel like a man. And so, discover your life vision, why God put you on this planet. Draw a circle. Around the circle, list everything you're passionate about. In the center of all of those passions is your life vision. There'll be another link there for that, hopefully. And so discover your life vision. Like, why? Like, you're an amazing guy. You really are. You don't have to put down other people. You don't have to put down other people. You don't have to belittle other people. You don't have to lift yourself up. And if you understand as a man, if you understand how God created you and why God created you, what God created you to do, the amount of confidence that you'll get is insane. You don't need to impress anybody other than your creator. So we'll do another podcast on that. Go, definitely look these two in tandem. And that one will probably be, that one will be an English one because men are they're more insecure now than I've ever seen men, young men, older men. Like Luke asked the question. He's like, why are young men insecure? And I started laughing and I said, right. What's even more is guys over 50 and 60 that are
Do
insecure.
you think they're more insecure now than they ever were, or you just see it now?
Yeah, it seems to me like they're more insecure now than ever, but maybe I'm just seeing it. But if somebody's not clear on how they're created, I think they're going to be insecure. If men are not clear, and I've wondered about this. God revealed to me at the age of 8 what my life vision is, but it took me 30 years to figure out that simple exercise. How do you figure out your life vision? And it's not to please God. Yes, that's it. But that's everybody. Like, really, you don't want to be special. Like, I have a very unique life vision. I've never heard anybody else have this life vision. Touch every single person in the world, one person at a time, make a huge difference in every aspect of their life in a really fun and exciting way. And yes, that's 8+ billion people. I've never heard anybody have that life vision. And my life vision is no better, than others. Like Kenny's life vision, I kind of like his better, Kenny Bontrager, and his is to care for people or something like that. It's shorter, it's tighter. So every person's, equal. Like, but it's different. Like, you're unique. You have unique fingerprints. Nobody else in the world, none of the other 8+ billion people have the same fingerprint you do. And so your life vision, I think it's unique. Like, if it's just like everybody else, like I was raised, my dad a pastor, and so it's like, well, serve God. Well, that's everybody. Come on. Really? You're special. You're really, 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 really special as a man. And your wife is really, really special. She's really amazing. I mean, really crazy amazing. And a husband should be the one that sees that more than anybody else. And so men who are fragile, and they take it out on their wives or kids or other people, figure it out. So if you have any, share this with others for sure. And if you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300 outside the US 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.